Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Near Disney. It's the Wednesday show where us panel of local real estate experts and Disney enthusiasts get together to have a chat about what's going on in the real estate market and all of the theme parks and just the broader community of a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle. Before we dive in, let's cue the theme song. Those fireworks popping. You let us
Nice.
know in the chat which place has the best fireworks. What park? You know, there's a lot of spectacle that goes on in the evening sky that we create to enjoy around
Yeah,
here.
and speaking of a spectacle, tonight is the launch
Ooh,
for Artemis 2. I think it's happening. I mean, the weather looked like it was going to be okay. I haven't heard that it was canceled, but
yeah, that's a good point. So yeah,
yeah.
stay tuned for that. Any
Mhm.
source where you watch that, or just if you're privileged to be in a position where all you have to do is look up at the sky
Yeah,
instead of turn on the TV, yeah, definitely let us know if you'll be checking that out.
yeah.
Good to remind us, Virginia.
I know a
Otherwise,
lot of people said they were going to go to the parking garage at Disney Springs. They say it was a is a good place to view.
ooh, pro
So
tip.
yeah,
You never need an extra excuse to go to Disney
I
Springs. Like,
know.
get in. I remember when before they built those orange and lime and grapefruit garages, parking
Yeah.
was a bit tough, but now I don't think parking's that bad for Disney
No,
Springs.
it's never a problem. Yeah,
They took care of it. Disney knows what they're doing.
sure thing.
Speaking of Disney, I will bring up our first article here that's just kind of like Buzz Lightyear's revamp. It's one of the more popular rides, and also just these interactive rides, kind of reshaped theme parks they're
Mm.
mentioning here. So Magic Kingdom's Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin basically has guests board a Star Cruiser, and you're equipped with a literal like laser gun cannon in every
Cool.
seat, and basically it's tied to shooting targets to gain points, so it's actually kind of competing with the person sitting next to you or just in the broader party of everyone getting together. It was a lot of my friends very favorite uh, rides, and it had been closed for kind of a revamping, so
Yeah.
it's April 8th it is set to reopen, so that is right around the corner with upgraded technology. So
Yeah.
basically new handheld blasters that are going to have like rumble vibrations, play sounds when you hit your target, and yeah, basically Magic Kingdom itself has just been kind of going through a whole makeover with the
Mhm.
plans. Like they're talking about the villain park coming down the road. um, in addition to Buzz Lightyear, a super popular attraction,
Mhm.
being closed, we also had, excuse me, um, sorry, the Big Thunder Mountain
Mhm.
Railroad has been closed since January 25. And, is that the one that's just like, this is the wildest ride in the wilderness? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
you hear that, it'll be stuck in your head forever. And yeah, so basically, it's going to reopen,
Mhm.
and guests can expect a different storyline to that, and a new show scene that will feature a dramatic cavern transformation. So, I
Nice.
mean, that's cool. But basically, that's just this article is just highlighting, celebrating how like the Buzz Lightyear ride just had a part from when it opened, and just solidifying these interactive rides that aren't just like letting the ride happen to you, but
Yeah.
participating in it. And even like in Universal Studios, like you might be enjoying like the Mario Kart ride where you're shooting the turtle shells at the
Mhm.
other racers and stuff, and it's really cool. Like it's definitely a highlight, and we're going to be super excited to have it back. Gaming technology, projection, scoring systems, special effects
Awesome.
evolve so quickly, and Disney's just trying to keep up its high quality of immersive storytelling. So at least it's not one of those things that we're saying goodbye to it. We're just
Yeah.
being reintroduced to it better than ever, because sometimes like a real beloved one just goes away, and it's not
Yeah.
coming back in any form.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea to kind of revamp it to keep up with the changing, you know, like all the cool things that are happening on the other rides, like over at Universal, and so like Disney kind of wants to keep up with all those cool interactive rides.
True.
So it's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
thing.
Universal opened a whole new park, and Disney
Yeah,
has to contend with that. And this is
yeah,
just in time for Toy Story 5 as well.
right.
which let us know in the comments if you're excited for that. Are you team
Yeah.
Woody, you team Buzz? Go ahead.
Very
So
nice.
but just kind of bringing things over to the housing topic. You found this
Hmm.
interesting article about like when you're approaching the mindset of a seller, and
Yeah.
what are the biggest things to fix up?
Yeah. So we always kind of want to let people know what is worth, your time when you're ready to sell your house. I mean, there's a million things you could probably do, but there's major things that people should definitely pay attention to when they're ready to list and fixing. Obviously, we want to have safety and function issues. Anything that has to do with um, you know uh, smoke detectors going bad. They last about 7 to 10 years, so that's something to think about. Any other things? Maybe a pool fence that you have if you have a swimming pool. If you're looking to to appeal to people with younger children, those kind of things are appealing. And then, of course, we want the roof and the plumbing to definitely be fixed. The roofs around here, we see this a lot, that the house, in order to list, you really have to have an updated roof, because then you run into the insurance problems. And I know later we're going to talk about insurance and how that really does affect people down here in Florida. So the roof is a major thing. If it's even on the list, I would definitely check that off before anything else. And then you can think about plumbing or any water damage that has happened in the house over the years. Just kind of want to stay on top of all these things so you can say to a potential buyer, it's a lot of things that are kind of hidden in the walls that are just as important as a new coat of paint or maybe new flooring or a new kitchen or something. And so when people walk in, they might not necessarily see it, but knowing and having that peace of mind that the innards of the house are going to be safe and secure and are definitely important moving forward. Same with electrical and structural concerns. So you don't want to run into a situation where you have a potential buyer and then they find out that these things are not up to code or there's problems, and then you lose buyers. So just definitely things to think about when
You'd hate
you are selling. Mm-hmm.
you hate to see it when you are surprised by what's wrong with your own house, you know?
Yeah, that's true
Like,
too.
sometimes it's like you could just kinda know it's good to just know the scope of, like, yeah, bathroom and kitchen probably need some updating.
Hmm.
I'm factoring that into the price when we
Right.
did our market research and did the
Hmm.
comparables. Like, we don't just look at the externals or look at the price. We kinda
Yeah.
go through past listing photos or go through, like, some of the other internals with the market, and you see, like, oh, like, this home had a pool, this one didn't. This one
Hmm.
was updated in these areas, whereas yours wasn't. And, what did you pay for your updates, or what did those
Exactly.
cost, kind of thing. So we work that in. But like when it's the things that you don't even know that's wrong,
Yeah.
that's gonna be, it's like about maintenance. So we even dealt with some buyers, they have this mentality that's like a new roof. They just shrug, like, well, that was just you maintaining your house. I don't see why you add value to it. They don't even like visualize that as an improvement sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
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 we've seen homes that sit on the market and they're priced really well and they look great, and then you find out, oh well, it needs a new roof. And so it is worth doing, because it will help you definitely with the sale for sure. The roof is
Because
a
like
big deal.
you are grandfathered in with your policy for a few more years, but like they're not going to start a new policy
Exactly.
with someone else
Yeah.
with a roof that's like what they determine to be this vulnerable. And unfortunately, in Florida, these insurance companies get real stingy about that. But we have
Mhm.
seen a little bit of lighting up on some of those policies when we've had our realtor meetings and talked to some insurers that like
Mhm.
sponsor events we work with. So we will of course open that conversation up to try to figure it out. But
Yeah.
yeah, new roof after like 10 years or so. Unfortunately, for the purpose of resale, it's probably going to be something we're going to negotiate.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And
Mhm.
yeah, water and plumbing, just that's got to work.
Yeah.
That's gotta
Definitely.
work. You just put yourself like, would you want to buy a
Exactly.
house where the plumbing works? Just empathy, always helps. It's
Yeah.
the best policy.
Mhm.
And then also before we jump into our next topic, speaking of just homes that have been nicely done up and and maintained and look beautiful, we want to share with you a listing that we have in Celebration, Florida, the town that was built by Disney, in a beautiful area that's near to the downtown area that's
Mhm.
so famous of Celebration, like walking distance to that. This is 839 Lake Evelyn Drive. It's a 5 bedroom, 3 full bath home, just under 2,200 square feet. That
Mhm.
looks beautifully with modern finishes inside. Happy to announce we just reduced the price to 969,000, and in addition to that, offering a $10,000 buyer credit to however you want to go in and do your own extra remodeling to make it to your own taste. So I'll
Yeah.
just play this video real quick and get you a chance to check it out.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that little image of pond is just 1 block away pretty much
Mhm.
from that house, where you're just following that sidewalk along the pond and going right into the back door of downtown Celebration. So location, location, location is everything with that.
It's
So now
amazing.
at a kind of new price, I mean, for a 5 bedroom home, it's at this time in the market, it's the best priced 5 bedroom home in the town of Celebration
Mhm.
that was built by Disney.
Right.
And I'm just going to pull up our next article here. Has to do with an update on where the market landscape it sits with insurance right now. So according to FloridaRealtors.org news, Florida insurance trends shift toward relief. Premiums are flattening or falling as the litigations drop and insurers expand. Good to see more insurance companies coming in after there
Mhm.
was a bit of a pullback some years ago when we had a particularly rough storm on one of the coasts. That's one of the beautiful things about being in Central Florida, is that we're just so far inland. Disney
Yeah.
doesn't really get hit too bad with those winds, and the neighboring communities, typically are in a good spot with that as well. Easing pressure on buyers and sellers, even as new risks may emerge. So basically, the property and auto insurance markets are stabilizing with recent legal reforms and premiums flattening. So, we're happy to get more and more of those insurers back in our state. Report found that litigation tied to insurance claims has dropped sharply since reforms in, like I said, 2022, 2023 is when we saw that kind of scare
Mhm.
happened. And basically, a lot of HOAs kind of had to replenish their funds and get up the code with certain certifications to meet some new guidelines. But so kind of those growing pains got through. A lot of those HOAs are now up to the new codes, figured out their fee structurings. Maybe like in 2022 here, like they would have got hit with a special assessment, and like those would have been, like, in many cases, kind of just paid off now, and if you wouldn't be inheriting those in many cases. We'll always look into that for you. But
Mhm.
the insurance is a big factor, of course, especially like when you're getting a loan and factoring that into your total monthly payment.
Right.
Florida once accounted for more than 72% of homeowners' claims related to
Wow.
litigation, despite just 10% of the U.S. homeowners. But
Wow.
homeowners insurance is seeing relief. More than 185 residential rate filings over the past 2 years, reflecting either decreases or no change. So, yeah, basically, so 18 new property insurers have entered the market. That's great. Almost to see competition come in so that they can actually reduce reliance on like Citizens Property Insurance Corp and the state-backed insurer for the last year. Good to free up some of the state's funds for other things.
Mhm.
And policy count has fallen by about 50% to 2024. So basically, yeah, and the same also similar good things for the auto market. So hey, if you want to know more about insurance, we do have like agents that know more specialized than me to put you in touch with, but you may be getting some better relief. Happy to make that part of the process easier.
Yeah, it's good to see that a lot of the insurance companies are coming back to Florida because it was pretty scarce for a little while there.
Yep.
So, which is a little
More
bit scary
options,
for people. Yeah,
better for the buyer, better for
absolutely.
everybody.
Hmm. For sure.
All right. And I found this cool little, we are steadily approaching tax day, April
Yes.
15th. Hopefully everyone watching's already taken care of all that and no one's waiting till the last minute to get everything filed and submitted. But
No.
this is an interesting little article about, excuse me, 5 smart ways to use your tax refund as a homeowner. So
Mm.
whether you're just getting your first home or you're settling into your home that you already have. Basically, the tax refund can go a long way when you are a homeowner. Just using it strategically for short-term upgrades or long-term value. So one such thing could be just using that to make an extra mortgage payment, or
Mhm.
putting your refund toward the principal, because like it can take many years before you even start to pay your principal down, because a lot of those like initial payments, the thousands and tens of thousands of dollars for those first years that you're in the home, that's kind of just paying the interest.
Mhm.
Build equity faster, get more ownership of your home sooner,
Right.
expanding your stake in that. Because complete home improvements. Yeah, so like, and not just the whole new remodeled kitchen and everything might not be necessary, but maybe those things that have become uh, smaller expenses that tax refund money can still go a long way, like
Mhm.
fresh paint, regrouting, updating fixtures or hardware, little
Yeah.
landscaping glow up, because we keep sharing these articles with you about how curb appeal and landscaping is becoming an increasing priority to modern buyers in
Mhm.
the current purchasing climate. So yeah, they can make a big difference. Don't have to spend like 30 grand on a bathroom to make it count or
Right. Right.
improve. Catch up on maintenance, the not fun stuff, servicing your HVAC, sealing windows, fixing small issues can save you in the long run. Yeah, I just was dealing with something earlier today where just someone just kind of let their outdoor living space, like balcony space, kind of get a little water eroded under the
Mhm.
tile out there, because like they weren't regrouting, which can make it so that wood is rotting underneath, and becomes a bigger headache than it had to. So just
Yeah.
maintenance. So hopefully there's someone in the family, just someone who is meticulous about that, and everyone goes,
Yeah.
so and so such a pain, always getting on us, but in the long run, so and so will
Yes.
have helped you. Boost your energy efficiency. That's another thing we keep bringing up. The modern
Mhm.
buyer, that is such a green flag for them, like pardon the pun. Uh, Upgrades like better insulation, energy efficient appliances, smart thermostats even can
Mhm.
lower monthly bills and, I guess be better for the environment. So future buyers just love to see that.
Yeah.
And of course, you could just take that money and hold it as an emergency fund, in case something happens, if your AC goes out or, you're not under warranty.
Right.
So That is one thing we try to do when you work with us on the team. We always make a policy to get our buyers a home warranty at closing, just in case that inspector missed anything, or just to avoid as much stress in your first. We want that first year of home ownership to be the honeymoon phase, not the,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, what did I do? What kind of
Yeah,
house realtor get me into phase. We just
exactly.
want it to be all happiness and charm, right?
Exactly. Mm.
Let's see. What time are we
Yeah.
on? 20 minutes. Um,
Yeah, that makes, and you know, the what you said about the improving the outdoors, especially after the winter that we had. I know a lot of people experienced from the freeze, a lot of their plants didn't make it. So I know a bunch of mine died because it was so cold. Things that usually would have survived, but you know, so if you have that a little bit of extra cash from your tax refund, you can replace all those plants that might have died in the freeze.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Is this your article, Virginia, or did I pull
That was something we talked about last week.
last week? Okay. Well, speaking of, we always talk about how our market is the town built by Disney. Like that's where our office is located, Celebration, Florida. But and that's where that beautiful home on 839 Lake Evelyn
Hmm.
was situated. But you know what? That some people don't know that Disney also built like a sort of neighborhood. Additionally, there's more luxury market, more in the multi-millions, sort
Yeah.
of like the entry point. Whereas like the cool thing about Celebration was that you were kind of buying into affordable condos, townhouses, single
Hmm.
family, all the way up to these kinds of estates. But we have like I guess the record sale for the new year for a home in Golden Oak,
Yeah.
sold for 13 million. And what we'll have fun, just kind of, always fun to go through the pictures real quick, just to see what
Yeah.
that kind of house even looks like.
What will 13 million get you in Golden Oak? That's a lot.
So yeah, okay, we got our spiral staircase, we've got our glass and our gloss, we got our open floor plan,
Hmm.
high just ceilings, even in the bedrooms, these floor to ceiling, like what is that, like 12-foot walls.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these like primary bathrooms that are the size of primary bedrooms.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Ed, get out of here. Oh, these are, yeah, I love the double-sided fireplace, actually. Pool
Hmm.
on the back. That's nice, kind of like an infinity pool
Yeah.
looking toward beautiful conservation palm trees. Very modern kitchen. And the summer
Walkout
kitchen
window.
too.
Yeah, beautiful.
Everything's screened in. Yeah,
Mm.
oh yeah, that's beautiful. So
Gorgeous.
10065 Autumn Mist Lane. It's
Wow.
$13 million, high-end features. Of course, 6,872 square foot home sold to an undisclosed buyer. That's probably smart.
Yeah.
Uh, happy to see that. 2022, it's built and it's already got that kind of equity in it. That is amazing. But yeah,
Wow.
Golden Oak is a, even just for a 5-bed, 8-bath property with a elevator, winding staircase. Uh, yeah, Golden Oak is a beautiful home with like proximity to the parks. Like a lot of people like have like park access like included in their like just residents in the community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they
it's super
work.
close.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful.
awesome. Well,
Very nice.
congratulations on that. We have people on our team who are familiar with that area, and we certainly can represent you in the high end luxury market as well. Happy to do that. If you know anybody.
Exactly. Very
All right.
nice.
Well, I think that's the meat of what we had to discuss. Oh, we got a comment here from
You
Kim.
do.
Says, "What's your favorite style of home?" Uh,
Um, I personally love craftsman style homes. I love the way they look on the front with their porches and like the kind of thick columns. I think they look so like inviting. I love craftsman style. And then interior wise, I think I'm a pretty much a more traditional versus modern.
Yeah,
I like antiques and things like that.
I can appreciate both. I mean, I wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily say like it's grandma looking that I like, or great
No,
grandma.
not grand. Doesn't have to be grandma.
Like, not like, and there's a lot of cool grandmas out there these
Yeah.
days, like real chic. Takes like some of our best interior designer contacts are grandmas. So I should watch what I say. That doesn't mean what it used to.
Yeah, don't knock
Um,
the grandma.
but that is a good choice. I do like the exterior. I do love that exterior that you mentioned. I do
Mm.
kind of have a soft spot for that more like Victorian cottage looking style, like
Oh,
cozy.
yeah.
Like I feel like I'm going into like Middle Earth or something. Um,
Totally. Yeah,
but
I like that.
the inside, I kind of prefer that traditional interior, with as long as it's not like super dated carpet and wallpaper and stuff, but it just kind of has that vibe in it. But
Yeah.
if I think we're moving away now from that style where everyone wanted everything to look, just make my house look like a hospital, make everything look as sterile and clinical and glossy
Right.
and white as possible.
Mhm.
That's I just think we're seeing
Yeah.
less of that, and people are walking into that look now and say like, "Oh, this is dated." Like, what do you mean dated? Isn't that like the super modern futuristic look? And it's just like, nah, it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Just kind of want my, yeah, that's right, Kim, she's right. Storybook exterior. That's right.
Right.
And that's what Celebration Florida is all about too. The storybook living. We call
Mhm.
call them our fairy tale listings. Sometimes we.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was a good question. That was a good topic. You're always
Oh,
welcome to
thanks.
chime in the chats or the comments section and get us on tangents like that. This is all about viewer engagement. And these are our phone numbers on the screen. They really do ring us. So just anytime you want to talk about housing market, got any questions about neighborhoods, you can ask us, or even just go
Mhm.
into the search box on YouTube, type in like Near Disney, the channel, and like the name
Mhm.
of a city or community in Central Florida. Chances are, your new construction. Chances are we went in there and did a video showcase of it. And if not, just call us right up directly anyway. Give you the
Yeah.
scoop. We'll get you in there.
Yes,
Oh, thank
absolutely.
you. Appreciate it. Best realtors. I love to hear it. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We're on the path to 10,000 subscribers. We've seen some great growth lately. You've all been doing an awesome job of engaging with us that way so that we can continue to up the ante on the scale of everything that we bring to you with the content and spread this to even more people. It was amazing who calls us from overseas, coming to America, coming to Florida in a matter of months. Hey, we'll get things set up very well for your trip. And
Amazing.
I think that's it. So we'll
Yeah.
throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to sign us out in the outro. Have a good one.
See you next time.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.